one planet, 7 continents, and 195 countries, there are over 7 billion stories to be told about this world. Immigration is defined as the international movement of people into a nation in which they are not native to. If you are like most Americans, you probably have never encountered an immigrant, and as a result, you may start to wonder as to why they chose to come to the United States specifically and what purpose they hold.
It's all a package. Number one, we're going to build a wall.
Due to the current political climate in the United States, the topic of immigration has become a hot-button issue, inspiring both Democrats and Republicans to find a solution. Immigrants come to the United States for a variety of reasons, but one of the main reasons as to why they come to this country is for opportunity. They see the United States as a chance to grow their family in a safe environment and to pursue their dreams. This 5-second clip depicting downtown Sarajevo is a prime example as to why immigrants leave their native countries in search of better opportunities. Sarajevo is the capital city of Bosnia and Herzegovina. It has been under turmoil for the last 2 decades due to a bloody civil war that took place between the years 1991 and 1995. As a result, an estimated 30% of the population is unemployed and roughly 25% of the population is living below poverty. In order to get a better understanding of immigration, we conducted numerous interviews with immigrants and mainstream Americans to get a better idea. Can you state your name and your country of origin?
My name is Leticia Hellerud, and I'm originally from Burundi in Central Africa.
My name is Krishna Pokhrel. My friends usually call me Chris. I'm from India. Right now I'm in Fargo. My occupation is full-time math teachers at Sion High School.
My name is Darcy Ashe, and I am the Director of Development at New American Consortium for Wellness and Empowerment, and also Program Coordinator.
Can you briefly describe your journey to the United States?
Well, I came to the United States in 1998, and I came from West Africa, a country called Burkina Faso. I had left Burundi, my native country, 2 years prior, and when I came, I was with my 4 siblings, all younger. My son, who was 3 years old then, and we came directly to Fargo, and it was a big cultural shock. Overall, it was a good experience, but it took some time to adjust, and it took many bumpy roads.
I was a refugee in Nepal, the small country. I was born in Bhutan. I came to United States through refugee status.
Okay. What were your first impressions of the United States?
Oh, it was kind of scary and funny too, because when I get out from the airport at JFK, I saw 2 girls kissing each other, and that makes me so, I don't know the exact word, but it was kind of scary too, and I'm not familiar with this type of environment and cultures, so it was fun and scary at the same time.
What was the hardest change or difference between America and your hometown?
United States is much more developed country than the other country compared to most of the country in Asia, okay? And the rules are strict here. Everybody follow the rules. Back to my country, the rules is just for the lower level peoples, not for the higher level peoples.
And
As a mainstream American, how do you perceive immigrants?
Well, it's really difficult for me to even talk about immigrants as something other than what I feel I am, because my grandparents came as immigrants, so I'm not that far away, second generation. So immigrants are all around us. I mean, I still run into people. We have this wonderful woman that decided that she was going to donate some money to the elderly refugee program. And when we went to present the check to the program, she revealed to me that she had come as the child of a refugee who had become a doctor. Her father became a doctor in rural North Dakota, and this woman was probably 72 years old, and she just was like visiting with this group of elderly refugees, and she said, just imagine someday your grandchildren could be doing the same thing that I'm doing today. And it was just really sweet. And my grandparents, as I said, were immigrants. I knew them growing up. And so I just think, immigrants are us is my answer to that. It's what has really created an amazing country. I just heard Joe Biden speak at the Democrat convention, and he was talking about how this United States and immigration and diversity and ethnic value and offerings and skills and gifts has really made the United States something very unique in the world. And working with people that have come from other parts of the world, I realize that more and more. I grew up in a very homogenous community that was mostly Norwegian and Swedish and German. But as I started working with people from around the world, there's just so much to know and so much to learn and so many new flavors to enjoy and jokes and physical features, to appreciate, like big brown eyes, where everybody around me had big blue eyes, and dark hair instead of, being a blondie, twists and braids and all of those wonderful things. So for me, I think as far as I'm concerned, immigration is a wonderful thing.
What do you feel is the effect of multiculturalism in the Fargo-Moorhead area?
I know that it makes a better Fargo. We just recently had a local politician ask the question, how much do refugees cost the community? And he wanted actual numbers of, what each agency in the community, like the police and the schools and the county, were paying. And of course, the other argument was we need to also look at the other side, like how much do they contribute? And the conversation kept going back to, no, we don't care about the contributions, we just want to hear about the cost. And so that was very frustrating for those of us that were advocates. The Human Relations Commission of the City of Fargo did a study in response to this particular guy, and the conclusions were presented at a presentation that was recorded, and there were so many members of the community, including the Chamber of Commerce, the Visitor and Convention Bureau, the schools, the Fargo Police Department, the Fargo Police Chief, the superintendent of the Fargo Public Schools was there, and one after the other, they talked about how Fargo's prosperity, current prosperity, was built on the backs of immigrants that came here in the past and very recently, and makes it a much more attractive place for people to come to visit and for people to come to work or open up companies, and that it would just never have happened without immigrants. So I would say, beyond my own personal, I just like a lot of different places to go eat and a lot of different foods and listen, and I love the color. Look at me, beige. This isn't my, typical North Dakota, and there's just so much color in the immigrant population that it just makes this a much brighter place for me personally. But the officials and the government and the other, agencies and entities, I think, really highlighted the positive things that immigrants bring to our community. Brings its challenges, but if you don't have a challenge, then everything just gets very stagnant. Nothing grows and nothing changes without a challenge. And so I think that it's been a very positive impact. And people, hopefully, one of the things that we do at the New American Consortium is, as I said earlier, bring people together from the majority population, or for those who have been here longer from other parts of the world, with newcomers, to build that relationship so that we can all really just learn to appreciate each other's struggle, but also the successes, and that, if that's my utopian world.
What do you believe is the value of immigrants?
When I think about immigrants in the workplace, I think about all the qualities that people who are coming to United States for the first time tend to share. And one of them is truly seeing the opportunities that are here, whether it's education, employment, or just realizing or reaching your dreams, whether it's like buying a home and starting a business. So immigrants tend to share that mindset of like, oh my gosh, this is a place where I can finally reach my dreams, and the sky is the limit, something like that. So they work hard. Refugees or immigrants in general work hard, and they are resilient. They also have a great sense of connections, so they make friends and rebuild, like the extended family that they left behind. And I see that the value is beyond the workplace, so it's good for the community. So most employers who hire immigrants will tell you that they are hard workers. They are hard workers, and they usually get along well with the others.
Why did you decide to become a teacher?
Oh, that is nice questions. I want to make difference on some of the kids' life. It's my passion, teaching. I love working with the kids. But the main reason I want to make difference in somebody's life.
Okay.
What do you feel is the current climate for immigrants in the United States?
I think the climate is one of fear and anxiety. They don't know what's coming next from the current administration. We've always had a very supportive atmosphere nationally for immigration, because there is that attitude that it's good for the country, and it's really what we're based on. But it's gone from, we're going to deport people who have broken the law and have escaped justice, to we're going to deport anybody that we just don't really want around anymore, and we're going to find a way to do it. For example, the promise that was made to the Dreamers, that they could go to school and they could get jobs, and they came out from underneath the shadows and did their applications and went on to prosper. They were not even eligible to apply for that benefit if they had a criminal history, so they're not criminals. We have people who have been in our country for 20 years who were given a temporary status. It's called temporary protective status, and oftentimes it's when people are inside the U.S. and something terrible happens back at home and they can't go back. to now be, and they have children, and you know, some even have grandchildren, and they're just being told their time is up and it's time to go back, and that means separating families, and there's a fear around that, something that has never been imagined in my wildest imagination. Are people from this country trying to cross the Canadian border and walk through snowbanks and suffer from frostbite, and because they're so terrified of the political and the general climate and attitude towards some immigrants, that these are people that have probably applied for asylum. You know, they've been told that they can stay until their cases are adjudicated, that are not going to take a chance of just being picked up one day and being put on a plane and flown back to a place that they fear. So, you know, there's even medical doctors and professors and researchers that are just not feeling like this is home anymore. I've read articles by people that lived in neighborhoods and had made friends who are now just, you know, feeling very separated from the people that they'd thought were their friends, because they feel like, you know, they're just not wanted here anymore. So I can't even imagine what it must feel like. I hope that what we do, you know, where I work, helps to ease that a little bit, that the people that are working with our students and with our clients, you know, give them a sense that somebody really does care about them and somebody really does want them here and appreciate them. But it's only a small token in compared to what I think is a very oppressive attitude right now.
Today we have uncovered 3 out of 7 billion stories, and yet there is still more to be told. In order to understand the value of immigrants, it begins with caring.
Yeah, good.